Good morning, beautiful people. It is Michael Bonner here. I know that I am a day late, but hey, welcome to another episode of Conversations Unleashed, Rising Together. This podcast is being brought to you by me, Michael Bonner, and I am here. And let's just get into that. The fact that I'm here, right? Y'all, I will tell you this. Thank you so much for the support of everything, the condolences and everything with my grandfather. What this particular lesson is teaching me in my life, and we're getting straight to it, right? We didn't even give you no introduction, all right? If you're here clicking this podcast, you are a faithful, loyal member to the Rising Together family. If you are here, go ahead and leave a comment on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. Come on, give this podcast its flowers. We're trying our best, and we're diving right into it because, y'all, this death, this moment in life, right, that has happened with me, has hit me in a way because it is teaching me. Remember, I had an episode called Lead While You Bleed. Y'all, I am trying to lead and I'm bleeding at the same time. Hey, we had about 700 teachers here at RCA last week. I taught my lesson, gave my speech. When I got home, depleted. And if you ask me, the reason why this episode is late, because yesterday on Sunday, I didn't have the energy and the wherewithal or mental capacity to record it. I record this, I produce it, I mix the audio, I put the captions up, I create all the visuals, and y'all didn't have it in me. And it's teaching me that life happens to people. So this is going to be a random episode about a lot of different topics, as you can see by the title, but I will say that if life is happening to you right now, whether it's death in the family, a divorce, whether you are having a hard moment, whether your kids are getting your everlasting nerves, whether you don't have no support from your administration, whether your business is slowing down due to the economy and the tariffs, whether you have friends that are leaving you acting funny, whether you are discombobulated about your own personal life and what your purpose is, listen, I am right here with you. I am right here with you. That's why I'm enjoying doing this when I do get started, because online, if you look at my social media profiles and if you look at my accolades, it looks like I am killing it. And by the grace of God, I am. But y'all, there are moments of just what you see now, what you're hearing now. Mel Robbins did this incredible podcast with the Breakfast Club and Charlemagne, which I have to finish. And she is an elite speaker and businesswoman. I mean, she just released a book called Let Them Be. And one of the things she talked about when she was on the episode opening, they were saying, well, Mel Robbins, look at you. You're killing it. You're an amazing, incredible person. Look at all you've accomplished. And she was like, y'all are looking at this now. Y'all did not see the 15 years of just boring, consistent, small little things that she kept doing, waking up, showing up 15 years in a row. And I think that's a component that we miss. Right. We see all the things on social media, and it's so easy to make a highlight moment or a photo. But what about the things that's happening in the background? Right. Like, I'm not posting much on social media right now, but I'm still trying my best to wake up every day and do the same boring thing after thing after thing. So for those that are fighting right now, like myself, I'm here with you. And one of the things I'm learning about storms, because it's not just storms, it's pressure too. Like, I've noticed a change in the atmosphere. The situations in life has been hitting a little bit harder. Temptation has been increasing. The things that are coming my way, I'm like, what in God's name is happening here? That's how I know something beautiful is coming along the way, and it's coming along the way for all of us. So I just want you to stick to it, and I want you to take care of yourself and know this is a process. I'm taking it easy myself. I was teaching Thursday and Friday. I was a good Saturday when I woke up. Sunday I was crying for no reason. Y'all, for context, I rarely cry. That's not a toxic masculinity thing. Like, I don't cry. I just don't. So it's funny seeing myself super emotional this time. So I'm being vulnerable with all of you. So you can know that superheroes can be human too. And yes, I'm calling myself a superhero because if you work with kids, you are a superhero, right? Molding this incredible, ingenious mind. So let's keep pushing on. And I want us to have fun with this episode today. It's going to be a lot of different topics, which is why I have the little podcast art mixed up a little bit. Normally it's orange, right? I'm mixing it up to another color that I haven't decided yet, but you will see it when I post this bad boy. So we talked about grief. It's a process. I'm right here with you. It's a process, whether you're ending something or starting something new. It's a process. But let's go to the next one. Let's talk about these tariffs. Y'all, I don't know what's going to go on with the economy moving forward. I know there's a lot of conversation about recessions. I was having this great conversation with my students when I was teaching in fourth grade, letting them know that a recession oftentimes is destructive towards the lower class, even to the middle class for those that do not have savings. I don't care what social media says. Most research shows that 70% of Americans don't have $1,000 in their emergency fund, right? Or they can't afford $1,000 emergency. There is a lot of discrepancies about finance and social media versus the real world. And I do know that if a recession hits and the economy slows down, it's going to hurt some people. So as I've told you, I want you to take care of yourself in this time, save and stack your money. During recessions, people that are extremely wealthy, what they do is people during this time that are in the lower middle class, that are buying things they really can't afford, they end up losing them in the recession because they couldn't afford them anyway. And the wealthy come in and buy them right on up, buy up all the assets. And that is why the wealthier get wealthier and the poor get poorer because of money habits and behavior. So I want us to pay attention to this tariffs piece. It's getting real spicy. I saw that we are on a 90-day pause with countries, right? They're at a 10% tariff. Basically, you're being taxed, right? We're trying to deal with our trade issues. But China, within the last couple of days, have been saying, I don't know what's going on in the U.S., but we haven't had any conversations with them at all. So our administration is saying we've been talking with other countries. China's like, y'all have been talking to me. So this joint is like a middle school because I'm a middle school teacher. So let's just pay attention to it and be mindful, take care of yourselves. Look out for your families. I will never forget this guy his name is TJ, the Millionaire Mentor. Like the few times I've chatted with him via DM and text, he's a really incredible guy. Like if you go to his page, he says in this beautiful house, like it's gorgeous, have some of the best supercars in the world, things I've never seen before in my life. Like I couldn't even imagine having for myself. I tell him jokingly, I live vicariously through him. And one year I was reaching out to him because just like everybody else, I saw someone like, I gotta have it. And he was like, Michael, there's a new car and a new clothing season every year. Stack your bread. And that dawned on me. If a multimillionaire is telling me to do these things, who am I to go against it? Right? So I'm giving that advice to you, and join me in that as we watch over how we spend in this economy with this new administration. We've covered grief and life, how life happens to us all. We've covered the economy and tariffs, but let's have some more fun topics because I don't get a chance to do this, right? I don't get a chance to do this. So I want to talk about some more spicy stuff. Let's get into Shannon Sharpe. So about a week ago, Shannon Sharpe was on the verge of signing a $100 million contract with ESPN. Now, for context, for those that do not know, when you're signing that $100 million contract, that $100 million does not automatically always go to him. He has an agent, he has a team, he has people that need to be paid. Let's not even get into that. Taxes, especially if he lives in California. Oh my gosh. For those that may be ignorant to the fact of money, if I gave you $1 million right now, which I wish I had, the government is going to take about $500,000 to $400,000 out in taxes off the rip, federal and maybe state included. So when we're looking at this contract, it looks great to everybody. So basically when this news was released that he's going to sign this new contract, all of a sudden there is an accusation about him participating in some sketchy behavior with a young lady that is drastically younger than him. Now, age difference in regards to dating, specifically for men to women, right? I don't think that's something that's pretty foreign to us. I mean, I'm 34 years old. Ever since I was in school, girls normally date older. And ever since I became an adult and moved to Atlanta, God, the age range from what women date can be the dude their age, sometimes younger, but sometimes older, and sometimes 10, 15, 20 years older. So I don't have any comments on all of that and the text messages and stuff they sent each other. But what I will say is I was looking at the reaction of people. And I guess I've had some unique experiences in my own life, being from a small country town and experiencing this 1% level of fame that I do have. And I've learned, don't you open your mouth too quickly. because what you criticize the most can ultimately become you. Here's a good example. My parents got married at 21 years old. And I remember as I was in my teen years and off to college, I was very critical of my parents' marriage. They would tell you, one day I'm going to do an interview, one day I'm going to do a podcast interview with them. And I was criticizing like why they didn't make this decision when they were younger and why you didn't say this and dad and 401k, and why you didn't do this with your marriage. And then I got married at 21, 22. And let me tell you, the very problems that I was critical of my parents about came and slapped me in my face. And when I make that statement of grace, I'm not excusing any behavior of Shannon Sharpe or anybody. Some stuff is just dumb decisions. I've made dumb decisions before. A phenomenal pastor by the name of T.D. Jakes once said that petty people always want to know what, leaders want to know why. So I have trained myself to why. Well, why is this person? I look for context. I look for details because it will give you the best understanding and the best picture. It gives you a bigger picture than just the act within itself. What I do want us to do, though, is I just want to be careful for all of us with judgment and decision and things like that, because the reason why he's catching so much heat, honestly, is because he's in the spotlight. And that's just what comes with the territory. As a man, I've learned that there are always going to be three things that come and test you. And sometimes they win, and sometimes you win. And those three things are money, discipline, women. Money, discipline, women. Whenever you are scaling and growing and you get access to more resources, you get access to more places, people, networks, those things really begin to test you. And a lot of times I was chuckling because I was laughing at people make comments and they were just saying what they would have done. And my thing was, exactly. What you would have done. You don't even really know what you would have done. Jay-Z once said in a song that we don't even shoot at we're not in the same brackets. We don't even play in the same league. We don't even pay the same taxes. Like, he was making a distinction of people oftentimes comment and judge people, but you're not playing in that arena. Here's a good example. Chris Brown, I understand, and to all the women that love Chris Brown, I get it. I understand why Chris Brown say he has like 4 or 5 girlfriends. And nobody batted an eye. You want to know why Chris Brown got 4 or 5 girlfriends? Because a man that is that successful and look that good, his options are endless. He is getting more access to things than just a regular standard man who's making 45 to 50K per year. That's life. But in the world of social media, it's a bunch of people that may not be on the level of others, and we're judging them. So I'm praying for the guy, man, because truth be told, all of us, every single last one of us has done something that we're not proud of. And if we were exposed, we will be looking for grace and mercy too. So hopefully that situation gets taken care of. And he does better, right? That he improves, he makes better decisions, because it's highlighting to me, even myself, like, Bonner, you got to make better decisions yourself. And it's so easy to tell people to do better, but you don't understand the pressures of life, the trauma they've been through, the experiences they've had. There's so much that goes on behind a singular decision. So I'm praying for the guy, and we'll see what goes on from there. The last one I want to talk about topic, we talked about grief, we talked about tears, but we got to talk about a little bit about Shedeur Sanders, right? Now, you all know I've been to a couple of Colorado games, and I'm wearing a Sanders jersey right now, and honestly, I didn't even really mean to do this. This is a gift from one of my really good friends, CT, so I try to make sure my people know that I love them and I appreciate them. So basically, y'all, Shedeur Sanders was projected to go 2-3 in the first round of the NFL draft. What happened was he began to drop in the draft. He dropped from the first round to the third, fourth. I think he ended up going in the 5th round. Now, when we look at great quarterbacks such as Tom Brady and others, Tom Brady was elected in the 6th round. It's not uncommon for quarterbacks to do so. I think the definitive factor that happened was that before the draft happened, Shedeur, there was a comment, anonymous, that came out about his interviews or something like that. And y'all, I hate when people do stuff like that. Like, I made up a decision in my mind earlier this year. Don't come tell me what somebody is saying about me without naming the source. It's such a coward thing to do. Like, if you want to say something about somebody, say it and own that you said it so people can know how to move. People take shots. And in this time, anonymous, y'all, it could have been a Chat GPT made up article. It's so weird. So basically what happened is Shedeur ended up going in the 5th round. And I loved his response because he tweeted out when it was done, like, I thank God, right? And he was pretty consistent publicly about his thoughts on it. And there's so many different viewpoints and things on it. But what I want to do is I want to highlight in this Shedeur Sanders situation how human beings don't know what they want. That's why I've been praying that God puts me around people who are loyal, who love me, are solid, and truly support me, whether this tide keeps going, which it will, or it stops, which it won't. And I say that because, y'all, LeBron James had his son drafted in the 2nd round to protect him from the business side of being inside of the NBA. People had an issue with it. Shedeur Sanders begins to drop in the draft. His father sort of removes himself, wasn't doing a lot of talking during that time, and people had an issue with it. And it just hit me that you can't make people happy. It don't matter what the outcome is, somebody's going to have something to say. In fact, when we look at this, after he went to a after party to celebrate being drafted, I mean, it's 6 rounds. Everyone does not get drafted. For example, I think in the NBA, there are 2 rounds where you're drafted in the NBA. So there's 60 slots. I want you to look up how many Division I basketball players it is, how many jobs in the NBA. So if you're getting drafted, it's a major thing. It's something you should be proud of. You've been working your entire life for it, hour after hour after hour. He goes out and celebrates and throw a party. And if I look, I went and celebrated when I got off the Ellen show. And you know what was funny? There's a photo of him holding a case of money, right? And you got people going in, oh, look at him. Who does he think he is to be celebrating right now? He went in the 5th round. Look at him being flamboyant with all the money. Y'all, you know the funny thing is? That was a gift to him. Hey, Shedeur Sanders' situation has shown me that you can't make everyone happy. So you might as well find out what God wants you to do and just go after it. And sometimes, y'all, if I'm honest, I don't even know sometimes what God wants me to do. That's why I love Proverbs 3:5-6, where it says, just trust in the Lord with all thy heart, lean not to thy own understanding, acknowledge him in all thy ways, and he will direct thy paths. I would be a bold-faced liar if I told you everything that's happened in my life I knew was going to happen. Nope. A lot of times I've been building this plane while I'm flying it. So you might as well put your best foot forward and go for it. Because people are going to say what they're going to say. People are going to be hypocritical, and that's just what it is. So through all these topics, these current events that we talked about, grief, tariffs, Shannon Sharpe, and Shedeur Sanders, all in all, if you get anything from this podcast from today, I want you to understand the beauty of the human experience, right? And the reason why I want you to understand that is because we all are figuring this thing out. From grief with me, with my grandfather, and trying to finish the year out at RCA strong and prepare for the summer circuit of all these speeches I'm going to have to do while building a new speech and motivating the kids and myself and looking out for my family, right? To tariffs and the economy, how it's impacting us and what are we going to do? Are we going into a recession? Are we still in a bull market expansion? From Shannon Sharpe to the decisions we make and how the things we can do in private can sometimes leak out in public and people will judge you even though they are doing the things they're doing themselves. Or to Shedeur Sanders, right? Getting judged for being drafted, and even though the goal is to be drafted, right? So let this podcast episode show you that we all are going through this human experience. And I think the best thing that we can try to figure out is, how do we want to experience this? And how will we handle this experience? Now, that may be part 2 for the next following episode, because we all can handle it in different ways. For me, sometimes I've tried to pray about it, and then sometimes I'm trying to escape it. For some people, they try to avoid it altogether. But wherever you're at in your life, just remember that we all are going through this. And either you can fall or you can rise together. I love y'all. I love y'all. And I thank y'all for being a part of my community. And we'll see how this podcast episode goes. If it goes well in part of the analytics, I'll bring in more current events on top of education and everything else that's happening. But believe it or not, when I look at the data, y'all a little messy. Y'all like the spicy titles and stuff, right? Like close, shut your mouth and things like that. Like y'all like a little bit of that. So y'all know I don't really move on clickbait and things like that, because if I did, I'll be posting on Instagram with my shirt off and in a suit with my chest wide open all the time to try to appease the 90% of women that follow me. But I don't do that. But maybe I just have to get creative to make sure that we're growing and scaling so we can impact more people. I love all of you. I can't say it enough. If you haven't been told that someone loves you or they're proud of you, or I hope you're okay. I hope you are well. Show grace to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. It's going to be all right. While I'm saying those words to you and to myself. God bless you. Take care. And you know my motto, beautiful people: legacy over likes. Peace.